Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to Digital Social Science YouTube channel. Now let us start with 5th lesson of history of 10th standard English medium. That is social and religious reformation movements with the help of mind map, flow charts, important points with charts, maps and pictures. Prepared by myself, M. Ruxana, Assistant Teacher, Galib High School, Cantonment, Bellary. Social and religious reformation movements. In this unit, you will learn about establishment of Brahma Samaj and reformations, Young Bengal movement, establishment of Arya Samaj and reformations, reformations led by Pratna Samaj, ideas of Satya Shodhak Samaj, Aligarh movement, Ramakrishna movement's ideologies, Theosophical Society, Narayana Guru Dharma Paripala Yogam, Periyar. Let's move with the intro now. Social reformation is an attempt to reform a society that practices discrimination among its members. Reformation strives to bring back such a society into the fold humane values. The basic aim of reformation movement is to declare the value of individual self-respect. The basic aim of reformation movement is to declare the value of individuals' self-respect. The 19th century is considered as a reformation and new awakening time in the history of India. With the implementation of English education, a new class of educated Indians were created. A new class of educated Indians was created. Many European concepts like democracy, nationalism, equality started finding roots in India. Many Indians who received English education started analyzing their own society. The British to express their interest in reforming the society. The British to express their interest in reforming the society. They put forth the theory of white man's burden. What they put here? They put forth the theory of white man's burden. They believed that it is their duty to civilize Indian as a civilized class of people. The British made an attempt to protect their political and economic interests under the guise of this theory. Which theory? White man's burden. Many Indians started understanding the Indian tradition in new perceptions. A new identity called Indian was born. A new identity called Indian was born. Many communities like Sudras and other neglected communities and women lacked many rights. Many movements opposed these at different timelines in the history. Unlike movements in the Middle Ages and ancient times, the movements during the British period were different. Issues like caste system, gender discrimination, sati system, widow marriage restriction system, denial of education to Sudras and other lower communities were addressed by these movements. Many prominent people like Rajaram Mohan Roy, Dayanand Saraswati, Rana Day, Jyotiba Phule, Swami Vivekananda, Annie Besant, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Periyar, Narayan Guru became part of these movements. One of the main features of this period is to attempt made to stop social evils by prohibiting them through law. Let's move with the first topic now, that is Brahma Samaj. Rajaram Mohan Roy is the chief initiator of social reformation in India during modern times. He had deep knowledge in Sanskrit, Persian, and Arabic literature, and he was well versed in Hindu philosophical critique and Quran. Apart from this, he had also studied other religions found in India critically. He had even learned Hebrew and Greek to read Bible in its original form. Such was his craving for knowledge. And he started Atmiya Sabha in Calcutta along with some friends. The Sabha means Atmiya Sabha aimed at eradicating social religious maladies from the society of Bengal. He started Brahma Samaj in 1828 when in 1828 he wanted to purge Hinduism by removing caste system and superstitions. Rajaram Mohan Roy and other Brahma Samaj followers wanted to rebuild a new Hindu society based on the philosophical foundations of Upanishads. Due to his efforts, Governor General William Bentinck brought in new law prohibiting sati system in 1829. Rajaram Mohan Roy tried to develop rationality among the common people through journalism. He published a journal named Samvada Kaumudi in Bengali language. Let's see the important aspects of Brahma Samaj. Advocated monotheism. Monotheism means belief that there is only one God. Monotheism means belief that there is only one God. Opposed meaningless rituals. Every person should live with dignity and no law or ritual should violate this provision. Brahma Samaj intended to assure equality to women by opposing polygamy. It advocated for a share in property to honor dignity of life to widow. It also opposed child marriages also. Brahma Samaj declared that one can take good things from anywhere. One can take good things from anywhere. It also declared that Upanishads and Vedas also advocated these principles. And he was open to receive good thoughts even from the West. And he gave importance to English education also. Apart from these, Rajaram Mohan Roy wanted the Indians to welcome the thinking process of the Europeans. In this background, he supported the establishment of many schools and Vedanta College in Calcutta. Rabindranath Tagore has called Rajaram Mohan Roy was the harbinger of modern India, progenitor of Indian social reformation movement, and the prophet of Indian nationalism. By saying these words, Tagore has summarized the contribution of Rajaram Mohan Rai and Brahma Samaj to Indian social reformation. Let's move with the next topic now. Young Bengal movement. The way of modernization started moving across the North India during 19th century. Calcutta was the center of this new thinking. New movements started arising during 1820s and 1830s. We have already learned the contribution of Brahmo Samaj. During this period, another movement called Young Bengal movement took birth. This movement was started by Henry Louis Vivian Dirozio. His father was a Portuguese and his mother was an Indian. Hence, Dirozio is called as Anglo-Indian. Dirozio served as a professor at Hindu College of Calcutta from 1826 to 1831. Many of his students who were attracted to his teachings became his committed followers. Dirozio was influenced by the various movements of Europe and tried to instill the same spirit of free inquiry in the minds of his students and colleagues. And he also worked towards creating textbooks to inculcate new education system. This angered many traditionalists. Many traditionalists were angered, but still he went ahead and started academic association. In the year 1828, a free thinking debate association which created new thinking across Bengal. The Young Bengal movement held discussion and debates on issues like nature, humanism, God, and other various topics. Dirozio worked towards spreading the message that only rational thinking would liberate. Rational thinking would liberate people from the clutches of superstitions and social discrimination. And he was an advocate of women's rights and opposed caste-based discrimination. Many of his students who had come from traditional families were deeply influenced by Dirozio's thoughts and joined their hands in spreading the movement across Bengal. The influence of this movement was limited to Calcutta and a few areas of Bengal. Dirozio had to resign from his teaching post due to the pressure from his colleagues and his opponents. These people feared that the young are getting morally corrupted by the work of Dirozio, and Dirozio was died at the age of 22 due to cholera. Let's know about Arya Samaj. The Arya Samaj was started in the year 1875 by Dayanand Saraswati. This was started in Kathiawad. It was more powerful during the last 2 decades. Decades means 10 years. 2 decades of 19th century. Dayanand Saraswati was born in 1824 in Kathiawad of Gujarat. His early name was Mola Shankar and his father was Amba Shankar Tiwari. His father was Amba Shankar Tiwari and mother Amruta Bai. Since he was not interested in English education, he received Sanskrit education. He left his house by the age of 21 years and roamed across the country for about 15 years. He outlined his ideas in a book titled Satyartha Prakasha. In the Satyartha Prakasha, what is there? The ideas of Dayanand Saraswati had mentioned in the Satyartha Prakasha. He released that the remedies to the various maladies of India are present in Vedas. Hence, he declared that back to Vedas. He was more of a Renaissance person than a Reformation person. He was a more of a Renaissance person than a Reformation person. And he opened the head office of Arya Samaj in Lahore in 1877. And he declared that only Vedas are authentic. Let's see the aims of the Arya Samaj. All Hindus should believe in one formless God. No one is a Sudra or Brahmin by birth, and caste-based system was rejected. Encouragement to intercaste marriages. And rejection of polygamy and child marriage. Men and women are equal. One should study Vedas and other ancient sacred texts and preach them. Suddhi movement. Suddhi movement was one of the important program of Arya Samaj. Let's see the aim of the Suddhi movement. It aims at reconversion of people who had converted to Islam and Christianity from Hinduism back to Hinduism. Who are converted to the Islam and then Christianity and they have to came back to the Hinduism. That is a Suddhi movement. Cow protection associations were started to protect cows. Arya Samaj had around 5 lakh members by 1921. After the death of Dayanand Saraswati, Dayananda Anglo-Vedic College was started in 1886. Similarly, Gurukula Vidyalaya was started in Haridwar. Lala Lajpat Rai, a radical leader of Indian freedom movement, was influenced by the principles of Arya Samaj. These are the aims of the Arya Samaj. Let's know about Pratna Samaj. The influence of Brahmo Samaj reached regions beyond Bengal. This Samaj took up various reformation movements influenced by Brahmo Samaj. This movement became influential in the Western India, particularly in the areas of Bombay Presidency. Pratna Samaj was founded by Dr. Atmaram Panduranga in 1867 at Bombay. With the aim of finding solutions to various problems faced by women and lower caste groups. This association argued that the reinterpretation of Hinduism is needed in the light of modern Western thinking. It advocated that reformation should not be a wish but should be implemented in reality. Reformation should not be a wish, but should be implemented in reality. Many programs like education for women, rehabilitation of poor people were undertaken by the Pratna Samaj. Justice Mahadev Govinda Ranade, Justice Mahadeva Govinda Ranade, R.G. Bhandarkar and N.G. Chandravarkar were the other prominent leaders. The scope of Pratna Samaj got extended into various areas under the leadership of Justice Ranade. Ranade attempted to reject child marriages and discriminations of widows. Ranade attempted to reject child marriages and discriminations of widows, and he believed that legal intervention is needed to stop child marriages and encourage widow remarriages. To stop child marriages and encourage widow remarriages. Hence, he advocated taking the help of the British government. This is aims and objectives about the Pratna Samaj. Let's know about Satya Shodhak Samaj. There were widespread discriminations based on caste and gender in Maharashtra, just like in other parts of India. During the colonial rule of the British, many movements were started to address these social problems. Satya Shodhak Samaj was established in the year 1873 to provide equal rights to non-Brahmins class and women. This Samaj was founded by Mahatma Jyotiba Phule in order to build a philosophical base for the movement. He wrote books like Gulamgiri and Sheta Karaya Cha Asud. He opened schools for Sudras and girls. Jyotiba Phule, who belonged to mild caste, allowed people from all castes, including untouchables, to draw water from his well. Savitribai Phule joined hands with him in his endeavor. They established hostels for girls. The work of Phule's is important in the direction of establishing society based on equality. The work of Phule's is important in the direction of establishing society based on equality. Ambedkar is one of the important people who were inspired by the work of this couple. Let's know about Aligarh Reformation movement. By the end of 19th century, a new wave of social and religious reformation was set in Muslim society. Anti-British sentiment became strong in Muslim community after the incident of 1857. As a result, they stayed away from the English education and as a result missed many opportunities that were based on English education. During this period, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan attempted to start a new movement, the Mohammedan Liberty Society, established in 1863, started debates and discussion on the issues related to religion, social and political issues. The discussion was started on the issues related to religion, social and political issues. The upper and middle class youth participated in these discussions and started realizing the value of English education. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan lived from 1817 to 1898 and it declared that Quran is the authoritative book and others works on Islam are derived ones. And he said that one has to interpret one's religion according to the changing times. Otherwise, religion becomes sluggish. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan fought against traditions, superstitions, ignorance and irrationalities throughout his life. He said, without an open mind, any social and intellectual development is impossible. What is saying here? As an open mind, any social and intellectual development is impossible. He did not support the Parda system for Muslim women and he called for educating Muslim girls. He did not accept polygamy also. All these aspects were part of his struggles. In order to implement his ideas into practice, he founded Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College in Aligarh in the year 1875. He utilized this institution to spread the Western scientific and cultural ideas. This institution later became Aligarh Muslim University. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan preached religious tolerance. What is preaching here? Religious tolerance. And he tried for unity among Hindu and Muslims. Hindus, Parsis, Christians donated liberally for the establishment of Aligarh College. Admissions were open for students from all religions. The movement created by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, keeping Aligarh as a center, is called as Aligarh movement. Let's know about Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission has provided a unique contribution to India's spiritual growth, nationalistic awareness and cultural development. Swami Vivekananda founded Ramakrishna Mission at Belur, near Calcutta in 1897. Ramakrishna Mutt was established at Mayavati near Almora of Uttaranchal. Ramakrishna Mission was founded to carry the message and thoughts of Sri Krishna, the spiritual guru of Swami Vivekananda. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was a worshipper of Kali and also a priest at Calcutta Kali Mandir. One has to attain moksha, means salvation, mukti, through dhyana and bhakti, said Ramakrishna, and his life itself was an example of this model. And he had believed that all religions advocate the same, and he also believed that there are many ways to attaining moksha, means salvation or mukti, and the God, and he said idol worship is inevitable. In order to spread the teachings of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Vivekananda founded this mission. Vivekananda was born in Kastya family in Calcutta and he studied both Western and Eastern philosophies. After studying the Indian philosophy from different perspectives, he started preaching the importance of Indian philosophy to Indians as well as Westerners. And he roamed around India for about 5 years after the death of his guru. Who is a guru here? Swami Ramakrishna. Due to this, he could understand the social reality of India and he worked to establish a casteless society, as he could see that the society was deeply involved with caste-based discrimination. And he also noticed exploitations, poverty, illiteracy and divisions among the Indians. What he noticed here? Exploitations, poverty, illiteracy and divisions among the Indians. Vivekananda believed that people should be educated first and then they themselves seek reformation. First of all, people should be educated. And he wanted legal institutions to implement appreciate rules to support reformation. And he also wanted people to stop following the Western blinding. And he believed it is the duty of the religion to provide light. Without this, religion is itself is of no use. And declared that Vivekananda. What is declaring here? Without religion is itself is one of use. One of no use. The one who responds to the poor in Mahatma and the one who does not, it's Durastama. And he opposed caste system, untouchability and the idea of supremacy based on caste system. What he opposed? Caste system, untouchability and the idea of supremacy based on caste system. The Westerners could understand the cultural richness of India with the help of speech delivered by Swami Vivekananda at Chicago City in World Religious Congress in 1893. And he attracted the attention of the listeners' while speaking at Congress of Religion held at Paris in 19th century. His speeches mirror his nationalist ideas. Interestingly, and he had visited Mysore before his visit to Chicago as a guest of Chamraja Wadeyar X. As per the suggestion of Swami Vivekananda, Chamraj Wadeyar X started schools for untouchable children. Swami Vivekananda wrote books on Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Swami Vivekananda wrote many books on Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. His thoughts provided impetus to freedom struggle and he asserted that freedom includes social equality also. Let's know about the Theosophical Society. Theosophical Society was basically founded by Madame Blavatsky and Colonel H.S. Olcott. They came to Adyar near Madras and established the head office of Theosophical Society in 1886. The main aim of the society was to do a comparative study of various religions, philosophies and science. Another goal was to discover the indomitable spirit hidden in the human. And it declared that universal brotherhood is very important. The society took its basic principles from Hindu sacred scriptures like Veda, Upanishad,
Sankhya Yoga and Vedanta philosophy and spread these basic principles. The society attempted to find solutions to present problems by studying the ancient Indian thoughts, philosophies, and theoretical ideals. Hence, the society basically tried for the reformation of Hindu religion. Interestingly, foreigners took more interest in this process. With the arrival Irish lady Annie Besant in India by 1893, the movement of the Theosophical Society started to grow more, and she arrived in India as a member of the society. She was born in 1847 in London. She divorced her husband, who was a priest at an Anglican church, and became an active member of the society in 1889. She had more knowledge in Vedanta philosophy, and she advocated that Indian culture is far more superior to the Western culture, which is based on materialism. This movement was Reformation movement of Hinduism. This movement was Reformation movement of Hinduism. She also did a comparative study of Hinduism and Buddhism. Translating Bhagavad Gita to English is one of the major achievements of her. What is the main achievements of Annie Besant is here? And she translated Bhagavad Gita to English. This is one of the major achievement. And she was called as Sweta Saraswati. She wanted education for all. She opened schools. She started Central Hindu Banaras College in 1898. The same institution became a university due to the forethoughts of Madan Mohana Malaviya in 1916. She started two periodicals, New India and Commonwealth, to initiate discussion on current problems and social issues. She started Home Rule League in 1916 and initiated Home Rule movement in Madras region also. And the credit of creating religious reformation movement and a new sensibility for Hinduism in the early 19th century should go to the Theosophical Society and its part and parcel MS Annie Besant. MS Annie Besant was active in the freedom struggle movement also and became the first woman president of Indian National Congress. Let's know about Sri Krishna Mission Paripalana Yogam. Sri Narayana Guru started Reformation movement in the year 1903. This started Elevu of Kerala. This movement aimed at strengthening the backward and exploited communities. Narayana Guru and his companions Dr. Palpu and Kumaran Asan led the movement. The caste differences were too much in Kerala and there were many prohibitions in place. During that period, all were not allowed to use facilities like tanks and roads. They were banned from wearing footwear also. Restrictions were there on women's dress also, and the communities had to live without basic human rights. In order to address these issues, Sri Narayana Guru started Dharma Paripalana Yogam movement. Narayana Guru started Dharma Paripalana Yogam movement. One caste, one religion and one God for human beings was
the basic idea of Sri Narayana Guru. What is the idea of Narayana Guru here? One caste, one religion and one God for human beings. Education is the only path to achieve this, he declared. He is declaring that education is the only path to achieve this, he declared, and he built temples for the backward communities as they were denied entry into temples. Narayana Guru and his companions started Vaikum movement, a temple entry movement in 1924. Vaikum movement, it is a temple entry movement in the year 1924. Gandhiji and Periyar, the architect of self-respect movement, participated in this. The temple entry of Guruvayur temple was a major incident. This is a Sri Krishna Mission Paripalana Yogam. 20th century, a non-Brahmin movement started in South India. The majority non-Brahmins launched agitations demanding representations in government sector as per their population. It became a major movement in many states like Karnataka later. The non-Brahminical communities opposed restrictions against them. This was possible due to the English education. The census reports published after 1870s provided a picture of their population. The Justice Party, started in the year 1916, continued the movement in Tamil Nadu. Non-Brahmin movement took a new shape under the Justice Party. This became more radical. Self-respect movement led by E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar became a new force. Ramaswamy, who came out of Congress in 1925 and started Self-Respect League in 1926, and he was called Periyar, senior person, out of love by people. Periyar was born in Erode to a rich family. He believed that Congress is in favor of Varna system and started a new movement based Dravida Radical Initiative. Varna system, Varnas means there are 4 Varnas in Hinduism. There is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Sudras. He rejected the racial supremacy in the name of Arya and Brahmin, and he said that Tamil is language of Dravidians, and he opposed Sanskrit language and literature, and he also rejected Rama as a Vedic leader and accepted Ravana as the Dravidian leader. Vedic leader is a Rama and the Ravana as the Dravidian leader. Angered by a bad experience at Banaras, and he converted Sanskrit, Rama and Ravana as cultural ideals and patronized Ravana, and he championed equality and criticized caste and gender-based discrimination, and he participated in temple entry movement held at Vaikum of Kerala. He became the president of Justice Party in the year 1936, and he started an association called Dravida Kalagam, and he also started Justice Periodical. Even today, Periyar remains as an ideological symbol in Tamil politics. This is more evident in all the political parties of Tamil Nadu retaining the word Dravida with their names. The ideological non-Brahminical movement started by Avincios and T.M. Nair was turned into a cultural movement by Periyar. His life goal was to establish an equal society where there will be no inequality based on caste, religion and gender. Alhamdulillah, our lesson is completed with this topic. Thank you. Please subscribe this channel for upcoming lessons.